Or, in other words, do you recognize this game? And if yes, that's great. But if no, I don't give a shit. I'm sorry, that was very rude of me. Anyways, let's just get straight into explaining this brand new game. The game I'll be explaining today, if you didn't get it already, is Tyke & Sons Lumber Co. This game consists of two separate gameplay sections, the day and night time, which is obviously the FNAF style part. So without any more of my yapping, let's get right into explaining the game.
Once upon a time, where life was simple, trees fell left and right, and the bridge's boards fell loose constantly within Zeebill's presence, lived Chipper and his son, Tyke. Chipper was proud of his wood-chopping offspring with the success of his company, Chipper & Sons Lumber Co. After the father tree was demolished by Tyke, the beavers lived in harmony in their happy cabin. Along with that, Tyke had success on his last date with a fellow beaver named Lisa. So much success that they had started their own family after a year of bonding. Time seemed to go by fast as the beavers chopped and built. Tyke and Lisa eventually brought their own beaver into the world, Mike. With this addition to the beaver family, Chipper was happy to have a new addition to the company soon enough. But as Mike grew up, one day Chipper had gone missing. The remaining beavers quickly scrambled along the acres of land to find their missing beaver member and founder. After a few hours of searching, they had come to the conclusion that Chipper was gone. The family still had hope and did not plan to presume him as dead. Tyke, being the fatherly figure his father once was, took the company into his arms and rebranded the company as Tyke & Sons Lumber Co. The story now goes on in the hands of Tyke and Mike to redefine the business under the brightest light.
The game promptly begins with a useless piece of dialogue just telling you how to do some things and introducing you to our characters, Tyke, our father, and Mike, who we play as. The cutscene talks about how Chipper was such a great beaver, clearly not great enough to survive, how we are proud to be his grandson and we should get out into the world and become useful. What a great father. You then load into your game and begin your first day section. I also just wanted to say, the soundtrack for this game is amazing. And I can tell that the developer and all the other people that worked on this game have put so much effort into creating music for every single different area in the game. Anyway, today you learn how to plant and water your trees, and then have to create a Chippomat 1.0. Chippomat, whatever it's called, you have to build it. After that, you get to go to sleep and begin the first night. In this night, there are two animatronics that will attack you, which both do the exact same thing because they are the same animatronic. Both of your Chippomats that you just built will come from either window, and when you see them there, you simply must just close the blinds on them. Very simple night, but instead of waiting to a 6 a.m. where you have to wake up, you fill a sleep assurance bar. The bar goes up by 1 tick each time you scare off an animatronic, and after so you can head to bed and begin the next day. In the second day, it opens up with yet another task. Your father needs a coffee from your mother's coffee shop in the town. The gates to the Lumber Co. have now been unlocked, so you can leave and go get it. So, you go and get it. You have to play this mini-game with a robotic barista, and you actually have to fight a boss fight before going to the town to get a coffee for your father. The boss fight is against a robot with flowers that really doesn't like beavers because they steal his flowers. Ooh, my mouth hurts from that. Anyway, you fight this boss with your watering can, as so with every other boss in the game because you have nothing else. You must water this boss 3 times. Between those times, he will throw some weird flower things at you and chase you around in a circle. Really a simple boss fight, not much to worry about. Anyways, you play a mini game with a robotic barista that has to serve snacks and drinks to 2 ducks. 1 duck wants snacks and 1 wants drinks. You have to deliver these snacks and drinks and get a certain amount of points before the time runs out to get your coffee. You get the coffee and bring it to your father, but it turns out it's the wrong coffee. You build the rock farm and then have to go meet Seabill because he's an old family friend and wants to know you better. He then goes and asks you to go and help the crabs by building them a few things. After doing so, the crabs begin to tell you a story about a robot that Seabill had built for them. After the story, the game slips you into a line of dialogue from somebody that we don't know. Your father tasks you with building the brand new Chipomat 2.0, which will end off that day and bring us into the night section, Night 2. If you haven't guessed already, 2 new animatronics are added in this night, Chipomat 2.0 and Spring Crab. The door is for Spring Crab, in which you can go to, and if you see her there, you must flash forward and backward, left and right, very quickly. Chipomat 2.0 will appear at either one of the windows, just like its predecessor Chipomat 1.0, but it will not make a sound when it arrives at your window. Same as the first night, you must fill a sleep assurance bar by scaring away the animatronics. But each animatronic only fills half of a sleep assurance bar, so you must scare away twice as many animatronics. After doing that, you will begin the next day, Day 3, which is surprisingly much longer than the 2 days before it. Seabill tasks you with building 2 things, a broken ship and a wooden bird, in which he will give you something in return for. But as your father is trying to tell you this, Officer Frog shows up and explains that your father's machines have been seen breaking into buildings and taking jewelry with them. Your father, as a great father he is, throws you under the bus, and somehow you stick with it and convince Officer Frog to give your father another day to gather enough evidence that his robots are completely safe and it wasn't him. And no, my Discord mod did not play this entire game in one sitting, as my playtime is right now at about 10 hours. I just am really good at editing, I think. After you build those things, Sibo wants to thank you for your efforts. So you go to meet him at the birdhouse and you get, drumroll please, a key card to the elevator in his birdhouse. Past the elevator, there is a pretty cool disco area. If you stand still there for long enough, you begin to dance. And your DJ likes the dancing, so he asks you to bring a Beavery remix. But along the way, you come against the game's second boss fight, Woodfree. He throws axes at you and you simply have to dodge them. Occasionally, he will fall down from the sky and you must water him and then chop him. Repeat this 3 times to defeat him. Simple, easy, and then you get the disc from your father. You wait a minute and the music turns on and it's actually pretty good. What in the world just happened to the floor? You end up in Seabill's secret underground laboratory and have to complete a minigame collecting 300 Robo-Rocks to escape. Along the way, you find an endo-torso and an endo-head, which can be used to build Fredbear inside of the break room. Inside the break room, you get another animatronic story about a robot named Seabilly. After climbing back up the ladder, you receive another line of dialogue from an unknown person. Your father asks you to build a rock chop, in which after you do, you have to build a storm machine. After you build the storm machine, you may begin this night time section. This night does not add much new stuff, only one character, in which will be Seabilly. Seabilly is a pretty simple mechanic, but it actually has something in it. When you hear Seabilly's distorted voice, you must right-click to turn off the living room lights. While the lights are off, Phantom Chipomat may come and take some of your battery. If you fail to do this, you die. This section is not too hard, it just kind of disturbs what you're doing and makes you stop for a moment since you can't check on anything else while you have the lights off. After filling your sleep assurance bar, you may go to bed and begin the next day. In the morning, Tyke begins his usual speech, but since you convinced Officer Frog to wait another day for proof, you have actually forgotten and he shows up today. Since your father does not have any proof, he asks you to throw him in an alley to make him think that he was drunk. And that's what you do before you begin the day. Tyke asks you to come over to the dump because he had found something. He finds a spine crystal socket with room for 3 crystals. Luckily, it already has one, and if you've guessed that you're gonna have to find them, then you'd be correct. The first one belongs to Tinker the Owl, which lives in the mountains. To get it, you have to go up there and ask him for it, but some things happen along the way. You need to go underwater, play a mini-game to get a whale plushie, and then you must bring it to a crab for seedless grapes, which you then bring to Tinker the Owl in exchange for the spine crystal. But you have to play a mini-game where you fall down the cliff to get it. After you bring the spine crystal to your father, he tells you a story about a new robot named Killatimber that you will be facing in the night. After the story, your father explains to you that he knows who has the second spine crystal. And It is the owner of the Magic Cave, which is reopening today. So you must go there, build a few things for a few of his customers, and get the Spine Crystal. After returning the Spine Crystals, they bring in a mystical being. Your father asks if it's all-knowing, and it says it is, so he asks about the robots malfunctioning. The mystical creature tells you to go ask Seabill about it, and that he would know. So you go and ask, and Seabill tells you to go to his old oil rig, in which starts a new boss fight. The boss fight is against Mechabird. He throws eggs at you and you must dodge them. After so, you must dodge these weird candy things that he spits out. He'll drop explosive eggs that you have to water with your watering can, which will then go up and damage him, and that is how you beat the boss fight. Tyke then asks you to build the Chipomat 3. After that, you can begin the night. If you hadn't already guessed, this night adds Killatimber and Chipomat 3.0. Killatimber works exactly like Spring Crab. He will sometimes show up at the front area and will make you flash your light back and forth at him to get rid of him. But at 4 a.m. he will sneak inside your building and be in your bedroom. To go to bed when he is inside, you must flash your light, and if he's there, quickly go back down and come back up. You repeat this until he's no longer there. And for Chipomat 3.0, works exactly as Chipomat 1.0. Makes a knocking sound to indicate he's at your window, and you must close it on him until he leaves. After that, you begin the game's final day. Today is the day of the annual Mushroom Festival. Your father wants you to build a golden mushroom and then go find Fun Fungal 3 times around anywhere in the city. After that, you go to the party. Fun Fungal tells you that Stone Steve told him that there is a mushroom robot that comes and puts people on, well, I'm not so sure I can say this, but it's really bad. So that's what you're gonna have to survive tonight. Anyway, after talking to Fun Fungal, you are able to begin the final night. Now, this night has 2 parts. The actual night and a mini boss fight with the creature that attacks you. So, first is how to actually play the night, since this one wipes every single character and introduces something completely new. Randomly, getting shorter intervals throughout the night, a hallucination of a mushroom animatronic will flash on your screen for a short time. When this is happening, it will show a danger icon on the mini-map in either the door or one of the windows. Wherever it is, you must go. The mushrooms at the area will act the same as the animatronics that come there. So, if they are at the window, you must just close the curtains until you hear an odd pot sound. I know that sounds weird, but that's what it is. At the door, you must do the same thing for Summer Crab and Killatimber, until they disappear. After filling your Sleeper's bar, you will go upstairs and begin a mini boss fight. This boss fight is very simple. You use your watering can to slowly water down the mushroom robot in the middle. Eventually, it will die. But there is 3 other mushroom robots on the side of your screen, slowly coming in towards the center. You must water them to send them back, and if you don't send them back, After beating the knight, Officer Frog arrests Funfungal for building all these dangerous robots that have terrorized us across the nights of the game. After Officer Frog arrests Funfungal, your father tells you that Seabill has asked him to meet him 600 feet under. Whatever that means. We know what that means. You must go down to the mine to meet Seabill. We stumble into a strange lab area, and across the way we find a paper blueprint for the robot that supposedly had to destroy Seabill's cabin. But before we can react, something flies above head. It's the robot, and it takes you with it. Seabill is operating the robot. He says you are very dumb for coming down to the oil rig, getting attacked by the mecha bird, and still trusting him. He explains that he was the one that had programmed the robots to go havoc and attack us at night. He's angry that us beavers have escaped everything. And he explains that he isn't actually Seabill. He is Seabob, Seabill's cousin. When he had been making robots while Seabill stole the spotlight. Seabill's ego took over. He saw him as one of his employees. Seabill had created all the special robots: Summercrap, Killatimber, Seabilly, and the Mushroom one. Seabill had fired Seabob. So, Seabob seeked revenge. He built the giant machine, and he destroyed everything of Seabill's. He hid the machine and went to the remains of the house. All the people had thought it was him. So he instantly pretended to be him, for years and years on. Seabob throws you in a trash chute. Inside the tunnel, a voice becomes talking. You realize that it is Chipper. Chipper had also stumbled upon the truth with Seabob, and he had thrown him into here. Chipper has been here for a long time, and now you are both trapped together. The strange traveler that you had summoned earlier appears out of the wall. He says that he has heard everything Seabob has said, and he is next coming for his parents. You come out of an exit, but Seabob has found you. You, Chipper, and the strange traveler begin to fight Seabob in the STROI.